Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Parlay Revival. This week we are building a toilet for our dogs, but halfway through the episode we take a moment to give you an in-depth explanation about what it takes to actually make these videos, including how we organize all the footage, and also the truth about titles and thumbnails on YouTube. Alright guys, we are about to start maybe the greatest upgrade Parlay has ever seen. So the dog toilet normally goes right there, and it's an artificial turf that they do their business on. The problem is that when they pee on it, the pee sort of just runs down the steps, and we are constantly washing this area, and the mat ends up smelling. And we've been doing that for about 6 years, and now that we're in a bit of a yard period, we thought it was time to address it, and we've come up with this. So this is a grate that I bought from down the road, and if we make a tray for this, when they pee on the grass on top of this, it'll go into the tray, and if we have a drain in the tray, we can have a little hose going straight into the ocean. So none of this area will ever get pee on it. And the other thing is, when you're sitting in those seats right there, the mat will be further away and you can't smell it. So I've come up with a design. I think it's going to work. It's just going to need 2 legs. Everything's going to slope down towards the drain. We're going to build a handrail around it so that they can't fall overboard. And in very rough seas, we're probably just going to have to put it up there where it used to live. This could be life-changing. There's a company here called Porters, and they have said that we can build it. So they've charged me $200 for all of the materials and consumables. And we're going to try weld this thing together, do some aluminium welding. So let's see how this thing turns out. So if you remember from last week's episode, the fiberglass guys had made an absolute meal of the non-skid mold and left gel coat stuck into the deck of the boat by not using enough wax before rolling gel coat onto the boat. Fast forward a couple of days and they've successfully made their non-skid piece off the mold that they had taken off the top of our locker hatch. So they now had to shape it and glue it into place. Back over in the welding shed, we were working with a couple of fabricators to cut the strips of aluminium needed to build the dog toilet. The first step was to MIG weld the strips to the edge of the 3mm bottom plate to form the tray. We were stitching our welds on the inside and are going to try our hands at TIG welding the outside edges. Our welds are far from beautiful, but they would be strong enough to hold a 50-pound dog or two. With the right settings on the welder, the MIG welding wasn't actually too difficult, but the same could not be said for the TIG welding on the other side. If you've never tried this before, TIG welding involves using a tungsten electrode to create an arc to melt the metal, while using an argon gas shield to protect the weld from atmospheric contamination. Once melted, you can use a filler rod to add to the weld pool to create the weld bead. Again, we weren't going to win any beauty competitions with our welds, but at least they would be more than strong enough to do the job. We eventually got kicked out of the shed at closing time, so we cracked on with some other jobs.
Okay, so we're back at the winch. We finally got our seals. We've got to sit it in here, then we've got to get it up on the shaft on the inside. It's going to be a bit tricky just to get it up in there because there's not much space.
What we're going to use, we've got this socket. It's exactly the right size of the outside of the seal, so we're going to grease the seal up, punch it up. But what was happening was the water, because these 2 seals were failed, rainwater was coming straight past the top one, straight past the bottom one, and into the gearbox of the winch. And this is the watery, oily mix that came out of it. So Jamie's been trying to recover the shaft here that the seal sits on, but it's really pitted. So might send it away to the machine shop and they can fill it and machine it down perfectly flat again. Because when we put the new seal back in, that's just going to tear it up again. This is the old seal. So yeah, just cracking on with the jobs. Here come all the cushions from Mr. Maritz over here. Woo! Yeah. We still have to check them all, eh, Jamie? So Marit had already finished half of the cushions, which were looking amazing. And he even had sewn on the new sailbag logo which I had ordered from Hyde Sails. I've been promised that this would last out in the sun 24/7, which I'll be super impressed with if that's true.
Wow, look at that.
Amazing. Much more professional.
Beautiful. Another little job they're doing is replacing this vinyl on here. It was came with this black rubbery stuff, and so Aman took it all off and we're gonna get it wrapped again.
Little jobs like this can be so rewarding and make a huge difference for only a couple of $100. The vinyl installer was done in a couple of hours, and then after I installed all the navigation equipment, she looked brand new again.
Okay, just tying up all the loose ends, and we've ordered fuel. One of Justin's friends knows where to get fuel. He's in this red ute there. Apparently it's super clean, it gets filtered before it comes down. This is what all the yachts use around here. So we're taking on 400 liters. It's 52 pesos per liter, which is about $1 plus a $10 delivery fee to get down here. So pretty cheap fuel. We want to leave here fully pressed because we got a lot of motoring. Got 500 miles to get to Palawan, where we're doing a little Patreon meetup, and then 1200 miles to get down to Bali in Indonesia. Pretty exciting. Got a bunch of patrons coming back with us, including the chosen one. He's just become a good friend now, so he comes on for an annual trip. Okay, Diesel. You know what's crazy here in the Philippines is that everyone calls you sir. I can't even get our workers to call me Colin. What's my name?
Sir?
See? Do you know my real name?
Yeah. Colin McRae.
Colin McRae. You can call me Colin. Why sir? Too formal. 400 liters?
400 liters.
It's gasoline, yeah?
No, it's a diesel.
Oh no.
Diesel is
I'm joking. Where are we at?
So we have two 500-litre diesel tanks on each side for a total of 1,000 litres of fuel. We burn about 100 litres every 24 hours, so we can motor for around 10 days. And we usually do about 150 miles a day, so in calm conditions, we have a range of around 1,500 miles.
Morning guys. So we haven't been filming much on the boat, in all honesty. We've been doing a lot of organising, rearranging things like painting the bilge. Not very exciting stuff. The whole hardtop surround is nearly done. Aircon blows straight into this lampshade and does that. Britt's gonna come to work today. She normally sits here and edits and makes videos for you guys.
So this is where I've been pretty much spending most of my days, in this beautiful, cozy, air-conditioned room here. And I think it's something I'm gonna miss a little bit coming back on the boat. I'm very excited to go back on the boat and see all the hard work the boys have done. But yeah, aircon is a treat.
Should we tell everyone the process? The way that this process works is obviously we film the interesting things that we do. We've learned to be very selective about what we film. If it's just another day snorkeling, we won't even get the cameras out. But if there's a whale shark that pops out, we'll be scrambling for the cameras. So we kind of have learnt what goes into our videos and shoot with much more purpose. And all of that footage has to go into one of these hard drives. We've got terabytes of hard drives. We edit off these. These are solid state hard drives and they're really quick. So we put the footage on that's already been organized into chronological order, what happened for the day, the week, whatever. And then Britt will go through it and create an episode out of it. So all of that stuff has to go into a timeline on our editing program. We use Premiere Pro, Adobe, and she will turn hours of footage into what we would call a rough cut. Her rough cuts are normally 25 to 30 minutes, really refined, and the basic storyline is all there. So then I come and I'll watch it, and all of the little missing bits and pieces in there need some sort of a voiceover to make it interesting. So we're not just jumping from one thing to another. So I'll write those. A lot of the time I'll refine it even further and then record the voiceovers, and then that goes back to Brit. So sometimes there can be 20 voiceovers. So those all have to go in. I normally start to ramble on a little bit in my voiceovers, so that all needs B-roll, which is
clips on top of the talk to make that interesting. And what I give back to Britt with the voiceovers, that's when the real magic happens. That's when all the music comes in, the amount of work to get it from me giving those voiceovers to something that's presentable for you guys. It's an art, and it takes a lot of skill, and Britt's incredible at it. And the small things that you guys may or may not notice, like if there's a nice sailing scene, the music will be nice and loud. And then someone will say something in the background, and every time that happens, the music will drop down a little bit. And then when they finish talking, the music will come back up. So your ears just hear this constant 12 to 6 decibel range of sound, and it's nice to watch, and it's easy on the eye. Transitions, if someone does a lot of ums and ahs like I'm doing, we can cut that up, but then there's all these breaks in it, so we put some B-roll over that, and then she'll pretty much finish the episode, export it, send it back to me, and I might request 5 to 10 things to be changed, and then it gets uploaded to you guys. So it's a process, but we've been doing this for like 3 years together now, and it feels really good. It feels so streamlined, and you know, we already know what each other's gonna say or think about something, so we just get it done, and it's really efficient. So that's what happens on the editing side of things.
And what's the worst part about the whole week after the episode?
Title and
Thumbnail.
Then that's a good point. That just because the episode's done, the work's not over. We've got to try to think of a thumbnail and a title to use. And the thumbnail and the title alone determines whether someone's going to click on that episode. So we could do the most interesting episode in the world. It could be about a sperm whale breaching over the boat, which is crazy, right? But if the thumbnail and title doesn't reflect the level of incredibleness of that, then people won't watch it. Or if we do something really meaningful and wholesome, like the triple amputee sailing around the world, and the thumbnail doesn't really reflect how interesting that is and inspirational it is, people won't click it. But then you can put a bikini on there at the right angle and everyone's gonna click on it. Well, not everyone, all the dudes will click on it. So it's this game we have to play every single week of where do we draw that line of enticing people to click and doing clickbait. It's a dangerous game, because if you cross that line and you do clickbait, then you get owned for it. But then if you don't make it interesting enough, no one watches it, and the channel doesn't grow, and we can't keep doing this, and the process kind of becomes stagnant. So we don't really curate any content. We don't say, today we're going to go do this crazy thing. We just kind of film our lives. So we sometimes struggle for that hook. But yeah, enough about all that. Let's go to work. And this is the house we've been staying at. We're renting it. It's about 15 minutes drive. It's been so nice, right on the water here. Dogs just, I don't even know where they are now. They've just got this massive area to run around, and they were chasing a rat this morning. And
Oh dear.
wow. Look at the cat drag.
You got the rat?
Huh?
You got your rat.
Where's your brother? Here he is. What have you been doing?
Morning.
He's been up to no good.
Yeah.
You know he's been up to no good. Look at your nose, it's all dirty. Huh? Alright, see you guys after work. And then we normally ride to work on the scooters, but just yesterday our friend Brian lent us a car because we got to do some trips back and forth. But yeah, this is my scooter. Jamie's already at work because we're running late.
What's it like been riding the scooter?
Every ride to work has been a death-defying experience. I'm not kidding. Today's a public holiday, so you'll see there's not many cars on the road, but riding a scooter in the Philippines is dangerous. And we see people on the side of the road like bleeding, messed up. Where all the stray dogs hang out. There's chickens. So Cebu's been really good to us. We're in a place called Porter's Marina, which is just east of Cebu City. Most things you need you can get here. It's a proper industrial city, and the labor is so cheap. The labor is about 10,000 pesos a month, which is about $200. I've doubled that, and our guys are stoked, and they've been the best workers. We had to go through a few to find these two, but Vicky and Amand have been amazing. Maybe the best workers I've ever had. They'll be working now before we even get there, and I have to tell them to go home. They are amazing. So really good and affordable labor around here, which has been the best part. This is the dog toilet slowly coming together. We've got to wait for the workshop to open again to use their welders, but it needs some legs. But this is where it's going to sit, and the dogs can do their business on there with a bit of grass. The guys have just been cleaning, so the boat's like shining white. I don't know if you can tell, but all the stainless has been done. There was lots of little bits of wax. When we wax up our surfboards, it gets into the non-skid and just melts into it. So you have to go around and pick it out with a knife or something. We've taken care of all of that, but now we're just trying to do the biggest spring clean this boat's ever experienced. And we're giving away so much stuff. This is all Parlay merch. They've, little samples and stuff that we've collected over the years. These guys are painting. Big Mandix. Yeah.
Hey, Vicky!
Vicky! Amanda's been painting the bilge. It's beautifully white now. It was just bare fiberglass, so it's just looks so good. Hardest workers in Cebu are these two. This is a bag of stuff I got to go through to give away. Cushions up here are still getting done. This is this umbrella. We made this 4 inches instead of 3. It's because we sit up here so often. So now it's really comfortable. Sunbeds are there. Look at this. This is all our stuff that we got to go through. So much stuff. Like a clay pot that I bought in New Zealand that we never used. It's hard to part with it, but it's so awkward to carry around. And here we've taken everything out. But I'm gonna film a little bit of this coming up. It's a 12-volt air conditioning system that we're gonna test. Bought it straight from China. It's the same base model that some of the manufacturers use to rebrand. So we went straight to the source, but we're just making sure it can fit and everything first. I don't think at the moment we have the power capacity to actually use it, but think about doubling our Battleborn lithium banks. So if we do that, should technically be able to have aircon.
This is what happens when you live on a boat for a few years. You accumulate so many items of clothing, but it's nice that we could give them away. So now is the tedious task of going through everything that we own and deciding, what we could live with and what we can donate. I hate doing this stuff, even at home in Canada. It's like the bane of existence, going through all of your things and deciding what to keep and what not. But out with the old and in with the new. Oh my God, it's heavy.
The truth is that our workers have been absolutely stoked when we give them clothing. So it's a good feeling knowing that some of our clothes that we never wear anymore are going to a good home. That's our giveaway pile. Just stuff that we don't wear anymore. There's actually some good stuff in here. It's hard to part with. Got such fond memories in some of this stuff. Total Boat, we love you so much, but we've got like 20 of these. Oh man, Nix is gonna look good in this. This is Annapolis 2021. I just don't see myself wearing it again.
Does that have shoulder pads?
Yeah.
Oh my, that was long.
2022 maybe?
I didn't know suits came with shoulder pads. Oh my God,
You could
hilarious.
really dress up in here.
Feels really good to get rid of things and throw things out, At the end of the day,
Take this off.
it's just things. You don't take them with you when you go. Someone else could really use these.
This is all for you and Vicky. Whoa.
Oh, nice.
It's so jelly, yeah.
Which one of these do you like?
Gang.
Which one do you like? You like the blue? Okay.
Those are good socks.
Damn it, they're my
Those are
favorite
your best
one.
ones.
Down. Oh. Holy
Whoa.
shit.
Where's my client here? Running for senator.
Look at this
Running
guy.
for senator.
Whoa! I love it.
It was nice to see such a big smile on Armand's face. He's had a pretty tough life, so I've actually paid for him to get a passport so that I can fly him to other countries we go to give him some work.
Alright, we're back on the dog toilet project. We've been doing other things, but yeah, time to get welding again. We've only got about 10 days left before we leave Cebu, heading for Palawan.
We decided to put some strong backs on the tray to give it a little bit more strength because the 3mm sheet was a little bit flimsy and I didn't want the dogs to get scared when walking on it. Next, we welded the 2 legs on, then started working on the handrail. Finally, we drilled the drain in the corner, and before we knew it, she was all done. I'm not gonna lie, Mario did all the welding for the tubes, as this is a part that's seen by everyone, and my welds would just be a permanent eyesore on the back of the boat. It was then time to take it back to the boat and see if my measurements had all worked out.
Probably just as easy to carry it up over my head. It's not even heavy.
And to my delight, it fit perfectly on the stairs.
There it is. We've got a sloping down into this corner where there's a little drain. I got them to put this on so I can tie it back to the cleat. Hopefully they use it. It's almost a square meter, not quite. And the handrail actually took a lot out of the space, so fingers crossed. Got to put some sort of a mesh around it because they're going to be too scared to use it like that.
To be honest, I have no idea why we hadn't thought of this 6 years ago when I got our first dog. Yeah, a big aluminium toilet on the back of the boat doesn't look pretty, but the practicalities of this contraption could be life-changing.
Okay guys, so we're on the final stage of the dog toilet. We've just gone out and got the black net. It's like a garden net that stops weeds from going through, but we're just going to put it around it. It's probably going to be temporary. I don't think it's going to last in the sun, but it's just a trial for the dogs. Looks good. And then we have this rubber mat that the green grass is going to sit on, so we're just going to cut it out neatly and put it in as a floor, and then we'll put the grass over the top, and then should be done. There we go guys, sweet little dog toilet. So now they do their business there, then they come out, they flick this button here, that flushes it. Nah, just joking. We wish. There's a little drain down there, so the pee will just run straight down and over. I think it's great. So yeah, that's fully complete. Fingers crossed they use it. But leave a comment below and let us know if you reckon we're onto something here. Could be the new dog toilet for boats.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get into the dog toilet business, but if you like what we made, feel free to copy the idea. We'll be sure to let you know if they actually use it or decide that the trampolines are the new dog toilet. Cheers for watching guys, and we'll see you same time next Sunday.
Just went to check the rudder, and the pin that goes through the top of the rudder stock that stops the rudder from falling down has snapped. We're literally doing a sea trial tomorrow and just found this morning.